Hey, I'm Hui. I'm an engineer, and I really hate when I get bug reports that don't have repro steps. We just launched Debug Timeline. We're going to make people that use Jam be able to provide real accurate repro steps. I'm the lead engineer for the Debug Timeline feature, and Cyrus, that's with me, it's the PM for this.
We're going to show you all the features that we've built in the last, however many weeks.
6 weeks?
6 weeks. In the last 6 weeks, and show you everything that's changed. The three things that we've added page navigations, we've added network errors, and we've added user activity all in the console tab, so you can see an overview of what the user is doing, from the navigations that they're doing to the elements they're clicking on to the inputs that they're typing in before they crash the single page app that you were developing on.
One really cool thing is here on Hover, you can see when that event happened. It also shows you the timestamp, and it's actually the same in the network viewer. So a really big part of this was to make sure that both of these views are talking to each other. So yeah, I'm pretty happy where this landed.
Yeah, it's really intuitive. Like, as you press play on the timeline, the network viewer has a playhead that tracks the position, just like the video has a playhead that tracks the position. And if you switch to the console tab, that playhead tracks the position there too. That's really cool. I love to see the
Yeah.
interaction between the two of them. It feels like once you get it on one, you get it on the other, and it changes the way that you look at a bug report.
One cool thing that we try to reproduce from Chrome DevTools, it's the tracing. So this will show you the call stack, the top of the call stack that initiated a particular call, and this will show you like what the script name was and where in the script name this identifier lives.
Whenever a user clicks on an element, we add the attributes and the element name and the attribute values, so that whenever you have a data test ID attribute, for example, you can just copy it from there and use it for your automated tests. And that makes it really nice that if a QA has an issue and they file it with Jam, you can take that exact issue, you can get all the attributes you need, all the input events you need, and just make a test from it right away.
Yeah, one like hidden thing that we try to add is you can, because we have interactivity on this regular console log when you click it, but sometimes you want to copy this. Let's say, oh, this is the bug, and I think we need to investigate this. You want to copy it. So when you select here, you won't trigger like this to close or to show. So this is a minor thing. I think this is pretty useful.
That's cool.
When you're trying to copy stuff. Yeah, and a really cool thing is that you can see in the same UI, in the same surface, both these interaction events, like page navigations or clicks, and network events. So you can easily correlate them and see if like, oh, was this a bug because of a network, like a network request that failed or something like that, which is kind of like we clicked, we had a network event, and then the page navigation, which is what you kind of would expect. But for example, like this failed, and you can easily navigate through and understand like why this failed, or if it was a failure.
I love how it lets you jump right away to the point in time in the video, to the network request that was responsible for something, and it's really clear. Is this a log? Is this a network request error? Is this a page navigation? It just feels like you have a lot of information at your fingertips all at once. Such in-depth understanding of what happened with this bug that you got sent.
I think we probably had like 20 rounds of review and polish, which I think they were pretty like necessary and important to make this feel tight, concise. Because you can look at this and say, "Oh, this really looks nice," but there was a lot of effort in making sure that the font size is not that big, line heights are not that big, how overflow is handled, the dynamic overflow, which is something that's going to come as a fast follow. So a lot of effort was put into making sure that this is concise but doesn't lose any of the valuable information.
Yeah, Hui built basically all these components from the ground up. Like, it wasn't just a redesign, it was like a complete rebuild on this. So this was probably one of our most involved projects, just making sure that we polished out, because we have a lot of edge cases here. Every console, every website logs things differently. We have to make sure that they fit, they don't overflow, they don't look weird. Just wanting everything to fit, it's kind of hard.
I think this is a really cool part of working at Jam, is that you can actually work on building your dev tools. Because yeah, I mean, part of being an engineer is specing, designing, and working on new stuff, but a big part is also working on ensuring that what exists works and doesn't have bugs. So yeah, this is in the school of thought of console log debugging kind of school of thought, and I think this is taking that to the next step.
It's also a really interesting position to be in because we're engineers. We use Chrome DevTools a lot. We like Chrome DevTools a lot. And for a bug that's already been filed, Chrome DevTools is pretty good. Like if you just copied all the console logs or you took a screenshot, it would be pretty good. But there's still a lot that we can build on top of that. Like Chrome DevTools isn't built for filing bug reports. Chrome DevTools is built for
Yeah,
debugging your app when something goes wrong right now. And so what we can do is we can expand on that and fill in the gaps for bug reports that have already been filed. And a lot of that is communication issues. Like when a QA reports something to an engineer, they might forget the information they typed in. They'll have to communicate that to the engineer. And we do that with Jam, like very seamlessly, like all the repro steps, all the repro steps. Like we have instant replay. So if you forget your repro steps there, you can capture it. We have the console logs network requests automatically. You don't even have to know how to access them in order to send them to your engineers.
I think at bottom line, this would make the fix feedback loop a lot tighter because essentially it would pack as much as information possible, so you don't need to go back and forth with the person who reported the jam or yourself try to understand like what happened or what did I do here. So ideally, I think we're making you spend less time fixing bugs and more time building your product.
Yeah. I hope it feels like a developer dashboard instead of just developer tools, where it's like you've got all the information you need right there in front of you. And there's no more pinging your QA to ask any information about, like, what did you type in that crashed this input field? It's just, I see it, I know what happened, I know the order everything happened in. I'm just going to go look at the code.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And sometimes stuff happens that we don't even know, especially when we're thinking through like page navigations. A lot of things happen that we can only make sense of when looking through this kind of report or the original Chrome DevTools, but you can save it and send it to someone unless you're using Jam. You can reach out through email. It's a good no Cyrus don't like. But yeah, I'm really eager to see how people are using and where people see value in this. I think this is a pretty valuable signal, so don't hesitate to send them to us.